Alright, now it's time for Willbender. The spec that I still struggle to see the selling point of, at least in most of the encounters of the game, but my gripes with Willbender's design choices are not the point of today. No, we're just here to talk about the build. Now, unsurprisingly, Power Willbender has a lot in common with Dragon Hunter. Though because that one switched to Longbow, Willbender has started to feel a little more different at least. By the way, get used to me bringing up Dragon Hunter, it happens. The core principle between the two builds stay the same. All your weapon skills are good. Use them. Congrats. What's new for Willbender is playing around the Willbender Flames, aka the Virtue procs, which sounds like it could be interesting until you realize that all it amounts to is using your F1 off cooldown. This does have the slightly unfortunate side effect of putting you as absolutely close to the boss as physically possible, which can be a little annoying sometimes. Something else of note is that the benchmark version of this build uses Virtues, which pulls ahead slightly on Willbender because you make excellent use of the Inspiring Virtue trait. But this also relies on Unscathed Contender, which means in an actual fight when you don't constantly have full health and Aegis, using Radiance with mostly Dragon's gear may be actually more effective. It's basically the same setup as with Dragon Hunter. And using it will introduce the same quirks around resolution, but also the same benefits of, running Dragon's gear. I'm not gonna get into that here, instead I'm just recommending the Dragon Hunter video that I already made, because all of those points are in that. If you were using the Virtue setup, your survivability is kind of lacking. By the nature of Willbender, you're completely melee locked, and the only other defenses in your kit are heavy armor, a block that's part of your rotation, and the minor healing from the F2. At least you've got good healing skills, I guess. In terms of utility, baseline you have some CC as well as good cleanse and stab options. Purging Flames is also basically a free slot, so instead you can grab upgrades to your CC and stab, a Reflect, or an excellent group Aegis skill. Overall, Willbender and Dragon Hunter are undeniably similar. In a lot of fights, you simply won't notice the mobility all that much, at least not more than you notice being melee locked all the time. But it does have an overall higher damage ceiling than Dragon Hunter, whereas that one is safer to play. Also, some people have told me that they just really hate traps as a skill type, and, Willbender doesn't have those. If you run the Radiance version on both, you can also very easily go between the two by just getting some different weapons. So the choice is yours, and there's very little keeping you from not just trying out both.